Have you ever wondered if that innocent glass of water you drink in the morning could secretly be harming your body? Millions of older adults across America kick off their day with a water-drinking habit that seems harmless. But if done the wrong way, it might lead to unexpected risks. Today we're going to reveal 5 dangerous mistakes seniors make when drinking water in the morning that you might unknowingly be making, along with simple ways to protect your elderly health. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from: California, Ohio, or somewhere else entirely. And don't forget to follow Life Wisdom for more incredible tips just like these. Stick around until the end to learn how to turn this everyday routine into the key to a day bursting with vitality. Drinking water in the morning is an ideal way to kickstart your body. It stirs your organs into action, boosts blood flow, and brings a refreshing lift to your system. But as we grow older, our bodies don't respond the way they did in our younger years. A habit that once felt wonderful can turn into a burden if it's not done right. After a long night of rest, your hormones are rebalancing, your blood pressure is settling into its rhythm, and your stomach needs a moment to awaken fully. We at Life Wisdom know you want to step into each day feeling vibrant, but tiny missteps can leave you drained or off balance without you even realizing it. We're here to guide you through the 5 most common mistakes and show you how to tweak them so every morning becomes a perfect launch into your day. Lots of people reach for a glass of ice-cold water from the fridge the moment they roll out of bed, thinking it's the perfect way to jolt themselves awake and get the day rolling. But here's the catch. This habit might be doing more to shock your body than to refresh it. When that freezing water pours down your throat first thing in the morning, it hits your stomach like a sudden splash of winter, causing your muscles there to tense up and contract almost instantly. At the same time, it narrows your blood vessels, forcing your circulation into a state of unexpected strain. This is especially true when your body is still in that delicate waking up phase after hours of rest, with everything, your digestion, your heart rate, your internal temperature, still gently ramping up from a night of stillness. For some, this can spark a sharp twinge in the belly, a nagging wave of discomfort that lingers, or even a cold sensation creeping across the chest and down the arms. Others might notice their hands turning chilly, or their breathing feeling a bit off, and they brush it off as just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. But the truth is, as we age, our systems don't snap back from these little shocks as quickly as they once did. Back in your 30s or 40s, that icy gulp might have felt invigorating, like a crisp boost to your senses. But now, in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your metabolism has slowed, your blood flow is more sensitive, and your body craves a gentler touch to ease into the day. Take Helen, for instance. She's 70, sharp as a tack, and for years she swore by her morning ritual of ice-cold water to shake off the sleep. She'd fill a glass the night before, pop it in the fridge, and down it first thing, convinced it cleared her mind and kick-started her energy. But over time, she started noticing trouble, bloating that wouldn't quit, a tight knot in her stomach that stuck around for hours, and even a faint chill that left her reaching for a sweater on warm days. She mentioned it to her doctor during a checkup, half expecting it was something serious, but the answer was simpler than she thought. Her doctor pointed out that the cold water was jarring her system too harshly, especially on an empty stomach still groggy from sleep. So, Helen decided to try something new. She switched to warm water instead. She'd leave a small pitcher out overnight or warm up a glass with a splash from the kettle, and within just a few days, the change was striking. The bloating faded, that stubborn knot in her stomach unraveled, and her mornings took on a soothing, calm rhythm she hadn't felt in years. The fix couldn't be easier. Swap out that icy glass for water at room temperature or with a hint of warmth. You don't need anything fancy, just let a cup sit out while you sleep, or add a quick pour of hot water from the tap to take the edge off. This small shift gives your body the gentle nudge it deserves, rather than a rude awakening. Why not give it a shot for a few days? Sip that milder water tomorrow morning? And pay attention to how your stomach settles and your energy flows, and you might just discover a whole new way to greet the day with vitality and ease. Waking up with a parched throat and chugging down a big glass of water in just a few seconds feels like second nature to so many of us. It's tempting when you're desperate to quench that dryness and get on with your day. But here's the twist. Guzzling water too fast can throw your body into a tailspin more than it hydrates you. When you flood your system with a sudden rush of liquid right after rolling out of bed, your stomach stretches abruptly, almost like it's caught off guard, sending a jolt through your digestive tract. This rapid influx can overwhelm your kidneys as they scramble to process the deluge, throwing your electrolyte balance into a brief chaos that might leave you feeling woozy or bloated. Your heart, still easing into its morning rhythm, might even pick up pace unexpectedly, adding a fluttery sensation in your chest that's hard to pin down. Plenty of folks experience this and chalk it up to something else. Maybe a restless night or too much coffee later, but it's often this hasty habit that's the real culprit. As we get older, our bodies aren't as forgiving with these sudden shifts. What felt fine decades ago can now sap your strength or leave you off kilter for hours. Picture Tom, a 72-year-old retired mechanic who prided himself on his disciplined morning routine. Every day he'd wake up, grab a tall 400-milliliter bottle of water from his nightstand, and down it in one long gulp before his feet even touched the floor, thinking it was the healthiest way to jumpstart his system. For a while, he felt proud of his commitment, but then he started noticing odd spells of dizziness that hit some mornings like a quiet storm. Not every day, but often enough to nag at him. Sometimes his stomach would gurgle and bloat, leaving him sluggish instead of energized, and he'd wonder if age was finally catching up. It wasn't until he chatted with a friend who'd had a similar issue that he considered the pace of his water drinking might be to blame. His friend suggested slowing it down, so Tom gave it a whirl. He traded that frantic chug for a slower ritual, sipping that same amount of water over 10 or 15 minutes while he stretched or read the paper. The results were eye-opening. The dizziness vanished like a bad memory. His belly settled into a calm rhythm, and his mornings hummed with a steady vitality he hadn't felt in ages. The solution is straightforward and doesn't demand much. Just take it slow. Sip your water in small, deliberate mouthfuls, giving your body time to welcome the hydration instead of drowning under it. Think of it as savoring a warm cup of tea rather than racing through a chore. Keep a small glass or bottle by your bedside and let yourself ease into it as you wake up. Maybe while you sit up, take a few deep breaths or plan your day. Try this tomorrow. Pour yourself a modest amount, sip it gradually over a quarter of an hour, and notice how your energy lifts without that heavy, rushed feeling. It's a tiny change that can transform your mornings into a smooth, refreshing start you'll look forward to every day. Keeping a plastic bottle of water by your bedside overnight sounds like a handy little trick, convenient, right there when you need it, and a nudge to stay hydrated as soon as you wake up. But here's the surprising twist. This habit might be quietly undermining your well-being more than you'd ever guess. Plastic bottles, especially the older ones or those made from cheaper materials, can leach chemicals like BPA, bisphenol A, into the water as it sits for hours, particularly if the room gets warm or the bottle's been reused time and again. These sneaky substances are what scientists call endocrine disruptors, meaning they can mimic or meddle with your hormones, throwing off the delicate balance your body works so hard to maintain. As we age, our systems are already juggling enough. Maybe you're managing thyroid levels, keeping blood pressure in check, or watching your blood sugar, and even tiny amounts of these chemicals can add extra strain, making your liver and kidneys work overtime to filter them out. You might not feel it right away, but over weeks or months, some folks start noticing a creeping fatigue, a vague irritability, or a bloated sensation they can't quite explain. Take Frank, for example. He's 69, a retired teacher with a knack for staying on top of his health. For years, he'd fill a plastic bottle from the tap each evening, set it on his nightstand next to a lamp that gave off a bit of heat, and sip it every morning as part of his routine. It seemed like a smart move, a simple way to ensure he got his water in. But after a while, he started waking up with nagging headaches that throbbed behind his eyes, His digestion felt sluggish, like it was stuck in low gear, and his energy just wouldn't kick in, no matter how well he slept. He tried tweaking his diet, cutting back on salt, even upping his exercise, but nothing clicked. Then, during a casual chat with a nutritionist friend at a community event, the topic of plastic bottles came up. She warned him about how heat and time could turn that innocent water into a subtle chemical cocktail, and Frank connected the dots. He swapped out that old plastic bottle for a glass tumbler and started pouring fresh water each morning instead of letting it sit, and the shift was nothing short of remarkable. Within a couple of weeks, those headaches melted away, his digestion picked up its pace, and he felt a crisp alertness that had been missing for too long. Now, no one's saying a single sip from a plastic bottle will derail your health overnight. It's the slow drip of daily use that adds up, especially as our bodies become less resilient with time. The fix is as easy as it gets. Ditch the plastic and switch to a glass cup or a stainless steel container. Pour yourself fresh water each day, straight from the tap or a filtered pitcher, and keep it free of those unwanted extras. Take a moment today to peek at that bottle by your bed. Is it scratched, faded, or one you've been refilling for months? If so, make the swap. Try this cleaner approach for a week or two, and you might be amazed at how much lighter and sharper you feel when you rise. A small step that delivers a big reward for your mornings. Swallowing your morning pills with a hefty gulp of water feels like the most natural thing in the world. After all, your doctor probably told you to take them with a glass to wash them down. But here's where it gets tricky. The way you pair that water with your medication can stir up trouble if you're not careful. Downing a big glass too fast right after popping your pills can dilute the medicine before it has a chance to work. Or worse, irritate your stomach lining when it's still empty and vulnerable from a night of rest. Your digestive system, just blinking awake, might rebel with a wave of nausea, a burning twinge of heartburn, or a bloated heaviness that throws off your whole morning. On the flip side, sipping too little water, barely enough to get the pill down, can leave it lodged in your throat or stomach, dissolving too slowly and sparking discomfort, or even reducing how well it absorbs into your bloodstream. As we age, our stomachs get pickier about these things. The acidity levels are shifting, hormones are recalibrating, and everything's a bit more delicate than it used to be. Get it wrong, and you might feel foggy, queasy, or just plain out of sorts without connecting it to that innocent glass of water. Consider Clara, a spry 75-year-old who'd been faithfully taking her blood pressure meds every morning for years. Her routine was clockwork. Wake up, pop the pill, chase it with a full 12-ounce glass of water, and get moving. She figured more water meant better hydration and a smoother start. Makes sense, right? But then, out of nowhere, she started feeling restless and unsettled after her dose. Her stomach would churn with a low-grade unease, sometimes bubbling up into a faint nausea that lingered through breakfast, and she couldn't shake a jittery sensation that made her mornings feel unsteady. She brushed it off as a side effect of the medication, or just the wear of time, but it nagged at her enough to mention it during her next doctor's visit. The doctor asked about her habits, zeroed in on that big water chug, and explained how flooding her system right after the pill was likely the troublemaker. Too much too soon was overwhelming her stomach and possibly washing the medication through too quickly to absorb properly. So Clara adjusted her approach. She cut back to just a few small sips, enough to ease the pill down, about 2 or 3 ounces, and waited a solid 30 minutes before sipping more or eating her oatmeal. The change was like flipping a switch. The nausea faded into memory, that jittery edge smoothed out, and her mornings regained a peaceful flow. Her latest checkup even showed her blood pressure numbers looking steadier than ever, a bonus she hadn't expected. The takeaway here is simple but powerful. Time your water just right with your meds. Use a modest amount, say 2 to 3 ounces, or about 1/4 of a cup, to swallow your pills gently, then hold off on more water or food for at least half an hour to let your body settle and the medicine do its job. Always peek at your prescription label too. Some meds need an empty stomach, others play nicer with food, and matching your water to those rules can make all the difference. Test this tweak tomorrow morning. Take your pill with a few calm sips, give it time to work its magic, and see how much steadier and clearer your day begins. It's a small rhythm shift that can bring your mornings back into harmony. Skipping breakfast and sticking to just water in the morning might sound like a streamlined way to ease into your day. Maybe you've heard it's a trendy trick for shedding a few pounds or simplifying your routine. But here's the rub. For older adults, replacing that first meal with nothing but water can sap your strength more than it sustains you. After a long night of sleep, 8, maybe 10 hours without food, your body's been fasting naturally, leaving your blood sugar dipping low and your energy reserves running on fumes. Your brain needs a spark of fuel to sharpen your thoughts, your muscles crave nutrients to keep you steady, and water alone, while it rehydrates your cells, can't fill that gap. At first, you might feel okay, maybe even light and virtuous for a couple of hours, but as the morning wears on, many folks notice a creeping shakiness, a prickly irritability, or a mental haze that sneaks up like a fog. Some blame it on a busy schedule or a bad night's rest, but often it's this lack of nourishment quietly wearing you down. As we age, our bodies don't juggle these gaps as effortlessly. Your metabolism isn't as spry, and skipping that morning boost can leave you dragging through the day or even courting bigger health hiccups over time. Take Diane, a lively 67-year-old who decided to jump on the intermittent fasting bandwagon she'd read about online. She ditched breakfast entirely, swapping it for a tall glass of water until noon, figuring it'd help her trim down and streamline her mornings. For a week or two, it seemed to work. She dropped a couple of pounds and felt a smug sense of control. But then the cracks started showing. Her mood dipped into a grumpy rut, her memory fuzzed out mid-conversation, and she'd catch herself repeating things without realizing it. Her daughter noticed the shift. Diane wasn't her usual bright self, and nudged her to see a doctor, worried it might be something serious. The visit was a relief. No major red flags, but the doctor pinned it on her empty mornings. Diane's brain and body were running on empty, starved for fuel after that overnight fast, and water alone couldn't carry her through. So she made a tweak. She added a light breakfast back in. Nothing heavy, just a boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast, and a handful of berries alongside her water. The turnaround was swift and stunning. Her energy surged back, her mind cleared like a lifted veil, and she felt steady and sharp again, like the Diane her family knew. That small addition gave her the foundation she'd been missing, proving that less isn't always more when it comes to starting your day right. Here's what you can do. Don't let water stand alone. Pair it with a modest morning bite. A little protein, a touch of fiber, think a scrambled egg, a sprinkle of nuts, or a quick smoothie can anchor your system and set you up for success. Don't buy the hype that skipping food is always better. Your body's wiser now and deserves real sustenance to thrive. Give it a whirl tomorrow. Sip your water, sure, but add a simple snack like a piece of fruit or a spoonful of oatmeal. Watch how your mood lifts, your focus sharpens, and your day unfolds with a vigor you might have forgotten was possible. It's not about overhauling your life. It's about feeding your mornings with the balance they've been asking for all along. We've just walked through 5 dangerous mistakes seniors make when drinking water in the morning. From chugging icy blasts that shock your system to skipping breakfast and leaving your body starved. Each little slip can drain your vitality, but the good news is that with a few gentle tweaks, you can turn your mornings into a vibrant launch pad for the day. Try one of these fixes tomorrow. Maybe swap that frigid glass for a warm sip, slow down your pace, or pair your water with a bite of nourishment. Your body's been carrying you this far. It deserves that tender care to shine. If this sparked a light for you, share it with someone you love, a friend, a sibling, or a neighbor who might be wrestling with the same quiet struggles. Drop a comment below and tell us which tip you're excited to try. And don't forget to follow Life Wisdom to keep this journey of wellness rolling. Thank you for spending this time with us. Cherish yourself, and we'll see you again soon with more ways to make every day glow.